time when I guess they assumed that all the big-headed black lawyers were from the 11th chapter of the book of Hebrews, first 10 verses. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. For by it the elders obtained a good report. Through faith we understand that the worlds were framed by the word of God, so that things which are seen were not made of things which do appear. By faith Abel offered unto God a more excellent sacrifice than Cain, by which he obtained witness that he was righteous, God testifying of his gifts, and by it he being dead yet speaketh. By faith Enoch was translated, that he should not see death, and was not found, because God had translated him. For before his translation he had this testimony, that he pleased God. But without faith it is impossible to please him. For he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of them that diligently seek him. By faith Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness which is by faith. By faith Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed. And he went out, not knowing whither he went. By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. For he looked for a city which had foundations, whose builder and maker is God. How did he do it? I'm serious. How did he do it? How can anyone feed, clothe, cuddle, inspire, and love so many children on so little income? How could he, day after day and year after year, work cotton fields here in Lincoln County, engage his children in the enterprise, pay off the debts to the landowners, and create an environment where education was promoted and success demanded? How could he promote love, self-esteem, and shared responsibility among his family members at a time when public schools were segregated legally by race, and the laws of the state dictated separate accommodations for blacks and whites? Who told Thomas James Kearney that his black children should be allowed to attend the same schools as the children of the white planters whose land he worked? How did he come to think that his children were equal to the children of the landowners? He must not have gotten the memo back then. How did he, together with his sweet wife, prepare 19 human beings to go out into the world and compete with anyone from anywhere, from any walk of life? Indeed, some from most of the most privileged circumstances. How did he come to believe that his children were blessed by God with beautiful minds? After all, they were all black, and they were all poor, didn't Thomas James Kearney accept as fact the premise that his children were not supposed to excel, and that they were not supposed to achieve the status that the old South taught was reserved for privileged white people? How did he do it? How did he withstand the sneers of class-conscious black folks who might not have placed his children at the top of the pecking order? Janet suggested in one of her books that there were some black folks like that who taught him who. Yes, she did. Well, I believe that Thomas James Kearney did what he did and accomplished what he accomplished in raising his family and motivating them to excel in life because Thomas James Kearney knew Jesus Christ as his Lord, and because he had faith to believe in the promises of Jesus and in his own dreams for his children. He believed, as did the Apostle Paul, who wrote in Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, I can do all things through Christ who strengtheneth me. Mr. Kearney's faith lined up with the definition in Hebrews 11, verse 1. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is that which is hoped for, according to this definition. It is not evidence. All you lawyers who are sitting here in this audience, we know that there's direct evidence of things that are proved because they have been seen, they've been heard, or they've been experienced. And we know that there is some circumstantial evidence where the existence of one thing can be reasonably inferred from other facts that are proved. For instance, circumstantially, we can prove today that it is cold to many of us because there are a lot of us wearing coats. If it were hot, I would have left my coat in Little Rock. Well, that's all evidentiary type stuff. In defining faith, the Hebrew writer takes us beyond evidence of what has happened. He teaches us about having hope in something that does not yet exist or has not yet occurred. Thomas James Kearney had faith to believe that certain things would occur even before they came into being. Thus his faith taught him that there would be a better day for his family. His faith taught him that God would make a way for high achievement for his children. His faith taught him that God would open up heaven and pour down some manna. His faith taught him that the God who created him would bless him and supply him with health and strength. And wasn't he blessed to have been given 107 years of life on this earth? His faith taught him that he could send his children to the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, to the University of Arkansas at Fayetteville, to Syracuse, to Vanderbilt, to Brown, to Yale, and to Harvard just on a routine basis. And he didn't have to have money for them to get there. For Thomas James Kearney knew a God who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills. I believe today that this great man knew that his God would take care of his children's bills. And I wish to God this day that all these people out here selling drugs and figuring that they got to do something illegally to get it in life could have sat down and talked with Thomas James Kearney and hear him tell how God provides. He had the faith to believe that you don't need your own money. Young people. All you young folks singing back there. You don't have to go out and get it any kind of way.